Hello, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Jo and together with my husband Andy we post new videos every week all about the Disney parks, mainly Disneyland Paris as that one is our closest park. This video is all about the 5 apps that we couldn't live without when visiting Disneyland Paris. I will either that side or that side. I can't work out how it will be when I'm editing this, but one side or the other. I will put a video showing actually using the app so you can see what I'm doing along with me talking to you. So let's get started. So app number 1 is a fairly obvious one and it's the official Disneyland Paris app. This app is basically a digital copy of the paper maps and guides that you get throughout the park. If you click on the blue Mickey head along the bottom of the screen, it'll take you to a map which you can navigate around, and it shows both the Disneyland Park and the Walt Disney Studios Park. The default view shows you the wait times for rides and it is live information, so if it's showing you that it's a 10-minute wait time for Small World, it usually is pretty accurate. So that means that it can save you having to walk over to one side of the park only to find that it's a wait time that you're not willing to wait for a ride. If you want to change the view, you can change it to show shows, shops, character meet locations, toilets, things like that. All you have to do is click on the little blue wand and then select which one you want to view from the list. If you don't want to view the wait times as a map, you can actually view them just as a complete list, so then you can just scroll through and get to the ride that you want because they're all in alphabetical order. From either the map view or the list view, you can actually click into more information about the individual rides, and from there you can see information such as when the ride opens, because not all rides are open during extra magic hours. You can see any height restrictions and any safety information for that ride, and also any accessibility, because there are some rides that if you were in a wheelchair for example you do have to be able to transfer yourself onto the ride, whereas other ones you can just transfer through taking your wheelchair on. So like Small World you can take your wheelchair on, whereas Star Tours they would make it that you have to transfer yourself. One of the best things about this app is in the top right corner on any of the attractions you can click a little love heart symbol and it'll turn it from like a not filled in love heart into a red love heart, and that means that it's added onto your wish list. So if you've got any must-do rides, you can just create a wish list and keep them all in one place. It makes it really easy for when you're actually in the park and want to find the wait times for those individual rides. So if I click back to the home screen, you can view your wish list from the home screen, and you can also view the calendar. And in the calendar it shows you the park opening times for the day, and it also shows you what times any of the shows and parades are running. So it'll show you for Illuminations, any of the seasonal parades, and also the Disney Stars on Parade which runs every day. Also in the calendar is a list of rides that are currently under refurbishment. You can change the calendar to be a day in the future and it'll show you the refurbishment details, but Disneyland Paris don't necessarily stick to those dates. Refurbishments can overrun, and the schedules for any of the shows and parades are only actually populated on a week by week basis, so even though you can change the date it won't show you that information for anything past a week. I think they usually release the schedules on a Monday and they run Monday to Sunday. A couple of limitations with the app, particularly if you've used the Walt Disney World app, is that you cannot book any dining reservations through the app. There is a button saying book a table, but when you click on it, it just takes you to a telephone number and you have the option to call, and it's just a general French telephone reservation number. You also can't book fast passes for rides through it. So again, there is a fast pass button, but this just takes you to a page to buy the super and ultimate fast passes. They're not fast passes for the individual rides. That's still done outside of the rides using a paper ticket system. One thing you can check meal-wise though on the app is if you're staying on site, there is a section where you can check your meal vouchers. So if you click on the I button and then scroll to the Magipack section, from there you can select your country and then you just enter your booking reference and name, and it will come up with information relating to any meal vouchers that you have. So that's everything that we use within the Disneyland Paris app. It is probably our most used app, particularly for the calendar for show times and for ride waits. But there is another app that we also use for checking on wait times on rides, and that's Magipark. So Magipark is another app which shows you ride wait times. These are colour coded into red, amber and green. Red means that it's experiencing abnormal wait times or that it's a long wait time. Amber is that it's sort of average for that ride, and green is that it's a low wait time for that ride. The section along the top shows the Disneyland Park, Disney Studios, and then there's also a wish list exactly the same as in the Disneyland Paris app. I will say that I find the section along the top quite hard to navigate just because the buttons are quite small, and when you're out and about in the park and you're trying to do things on your phone without bumping into people, and if the sun's glaring on your screen as well, it's just one of those things that I find frustrating, but it is only a minor issue, I suppose. Any rides that are coloured grey are ones that are currently closed, so you're able to see exactly which rides are either under refurbishment or experiencing a problem. The default view for this app is to organise it by wait time, but you can change it to be alphabetical if you wish, and you can actually view on the map as well. If you want to view it as a map, you just need to click on the little menu option and then select map. Because the Magipark app is using a satellite view, I personally think it's harder to navigate because obviously you're not looking at the park from above, and that is one way that the Disneyland Paris official app is better than the Magipark one. One thing that the Magipark app does have that the Disneyland Paris app doesn't have though is notifications. So in the Magipark app you can set an alert to notify you of any interruptions to the ride or restarts, and to notify you when the queue time reaches a certain level. So if you would be happy to wait 30 minutes for Buzz Lightyear, say, you just literally click into the ride information, click on the little bell and then set the time to be 30 minutes, and that will tell you as soon as the queue levels reach 30 minutes. Another bonus of this app is that you can see a graph showing you exactly when the busy times for the ride have been, and you can actually change the date to look over the past days so that you can try and get a pattern to when the ride might actually be at its busiest, and then help you plan your day a bit more around that. And finally, the other great thing about the Magipark app is that there is a way to feed back to other users of the app what the wait times are. So the Disneyland Paris app is just using a computer system within the park to notify what wait times there are. Magipark is using the same information, except it also has a way for people who get to a ride and it might be down, or the queue time is actually more like 30 minutes. You can actually feed this information into the app and let other people know what the actual real wait time is. So whereas the Disneyland Paris official app might only update the wait times every 10-15 minutes, this can update much quicker because it's getting that extra layer of information through from people, which is really good when you're in the park. The third app that we use within the parks is Lineberty. Now I'm going to be limited in what I can actually show you because it does detect that obviously I'm not in France at the minute. This is the app where you book tickets to actually meet some of the characters, and also for any limited edition pin releases you need to get a ticket through Lineberty. So all you do is open up the app. It will always detect what Lineberty service you are nearest to, so if you are in the park it will automatically show you the park as the top option. Obviously I'm not in France at the minute, so I've got to find the actual Disneyland Paris section. Once in it you can select either Studios or Disneyland Park, and from there you can then select if it's a meet and greet or if you're in the park and it's a pin trading event. Now at the minute it's all showing as closed, so normally if they're open you just click on book a ticket and it'll say how many people do you want the ticket for, and then gives you a ticket number and an estimated time for that ticket to be useful, and then all you need to do is keep checking the characters and it'll say what ticket numbers they're currently serving. If you go early to the character meet for your ticket and there is no queue, they may actually let you join. We've actually met Mickey 2.5 hours earlier than we were supposed to, purely because there was no queue and they were about to release more tickets, so they just let us go through. Tickets normally go on at about 9 o'clock in the morning and they go quickly. So for the characters you can click on the info, and if more tickets are likely to come up or they're due to come available again in the next hour, it will actually tell you what time to look at the app, and then you just need to be on really quickly to try and book the ticket. All your tickets are saved in the My Tickets section, and it'll show any that you currently have open waiting to be used in the In Progress section, and any that you've used in the history. For Lineberty reservations for pin trading, you do generally need to be in France before it seems to work. I'm not sure why, but it just doesn't seem to work very well if you're not in France. But generally, the only problem with Lineberty is just how quickly everything goes. You do have to be really on the ball to get them. Fourth app that we use a lot is the PhotoPass app. If you have a PhotoPass, you can link your PhotoPass to the app, and then all you need to do when you go through any of the attractions is to scan the QR code that comes up on the bottom of the attraction photo. You can also enter it using the number reference, so Buzz Lightyear's normally starts with a D and whatever number, and then you just click to claim the photo when it shows you a photo that's yours. Any character meets that have PhotoPass and they scan the actual PhotoPass card will eventually appear in the app. It does take about 24 hours for them to appear in the app though, and the app is quite slow on the park Wi-Fi. Not sure why. We've always found though that to actually use the app properly we have to disconnect from the park Wi-Fi and just use our 4G. It just doesn't seem to work on their own Wi-Fi. Not sure why. From the PhotoPass app you can actually download the pictures into your camera roll on your phone. So I'm doing this on an iPhone and it saves it into my pictures. The PhotoPass login details that you use in the app are also useful on the website, and from the website you can actually download high quality images, whereas the images that you can download to your phone are not the highest quality that you can get. But if you just want to share some pictures onto Facebook or Instagram, it's probably the easiest way. And the final app that we use a lot, well, as a backup app, is G7. So G7 is a taxi app. It works exactly the same as Uber in that you put a pick-up location and you put a drop-off location, so the driver knows exactly where it is that you want to go, and you get the registration of the vehicle so that you know which is your taxi, which is great if you don't speak a lot of French. That when you register for the app, you put in your card details and they are sent to the driver who puts the transaction through there and then and gives you a receipt, rather than it just going on the app like Uber does. Because it is just a normal taxi, it just goes off the meter reading, which can be a lot higher than an Uber would cost you. When in a situation where the nearest Uber is going to be 20 to 25 minutes, it might just be worth sucking it up and paying for the extra money for the G7. We've used it a couple of times and we've not had any problems. It's basically just been a slightly more expensive Uber, but when everyone is trying to get an Uber at the same time, so after like an annual pass party, it's really useful then, because you have more luck finding taxis on the G7 than you do finding an Uber. The last annual pass party, we know that there were people who waited an hour and a half to get an Uber, and we got a G7 car within 15 minutes. So, an hour and a half versus 15 minutes, it's a no-brainer really. But yeah, they are the apps that we pretty much constantly use whilst we're in Disney. I hope you've found this video useful. If you want to see more hints and tips from Disneyland Paris, hit the subscribe button, and if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye!